evening, everyone. Ooh, what a hair. Hi, Anita. Hey, Joanna. Welcome to Readings in Isolation. My name is Saman and I'm your host this evening. And I'll be reading for you the 36th night of 1001 Nights. Sorry. Yeah. That's better. All right, enjoy the reading, everyone. Thanks for the hearts. Now when it was the 36th night, she said, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the skipper answered to the house of peace, Baghdad, Nur al-Din Ali and the damsel went on board, and they launched the craft and shook out the sails, and the ship sped forth as though she were a bird on wing, even as said one of them, and said right well, watch some tall ship, she'll joy the sight of thee, the breeze outstripping in her haste to flee, as when a bird with widely spreading wings leaveth the sky to settle on the sea." So the vessel sailed on her fastest, and the wind to her was fairest. Thus far concerning them, but as regards the Mamelukes, they went to Nur al-Din's mansion, and, breaking open the doors, entered and searched the whole place, but could find no trace of him and the damsel. So they demolished the house, and returning to the Sultan, reported their proceedings. Whereupon quoth he, "Make search for them both, wherever they may be." And they answered, "Hearing is obeying." The Vizier AlMuin had also gone home after the Sultan had bestowed upon him a robe of honor, and had set his heart at rest by saying, "None shall take blood weak for thee save I." And he had blessed the king and prayed for his long life and prosperity. Then the Sultan bade proclaim about the city, O ye lieges one and all, it is the will of our Lord the Sultan that whoso happeneth on Nur al-Din Ali, son of Al-Fazl bin Khakan, and bringeth him to the Sultan, shall receive a robe of honor and 1,000 gold pieces. And he who hideth him, or knoweth his abiding place, and informeth not, deserveth whatsoever pains and penalties shall befall him. So all began to search for Nur al-Din Ali, but they could find neither trace nor tidings of him. Meanwhile he and his handmaids sailed on with the wind right aft, till they arrived in safety at Baghdad. And the captain said to them, "This is Baghdad, and 'tis the city where security is to be had. Winter with his frosts hath turned away, and prime hath come his roses to display. And the flowers are glowing, and the trees are blowing, and the streams are flowing." So Nur al-Din landed, he and his handmaid, and giving the captain 5 dinars, walked on a little way, till the decrees of destiny brought them among the gardens, and they came to a place swept and sprinkled, with benches along the walls, and hanging jars filled with water. Overhead was a trellis of reed work, and canes shading the whole length of the avenue, and at the upper end was a garden gate, but this was locked. "By Allah," quoth Nur al-Din, "right pleasant is this place." And she replied, "O my lord, sit with me a while on this bench, and let us take our ease." So they mounted and sat them down on the bench, after which they washed their faces and hands. And the breeze blew cool on them, and they fell asleep, and glory be to him who never sleepeth. Now this garden was named the Garden of Gladness, and therein stood a belvedere, hight the Palace of Pleasure, and the Pavilion of Pictures, the whole belonging to the Caliph Harun al-Rashid, who was wont, when his breast was straitened with care, to frequent garden and palace and there to sit. The palace had 80 latticed windows and 80 lamps hanging round a great candelabrum of gold, furnished with wax candles. And when the Caliph used to enter, he would order the handmaids to throw open the lattices and light up the rooms. And he would bid Ishaq bin Ibrahim, the cup companion, and the slave girls to sing till his breast was broadened and his ailments were allayed. Now the keeper of the garden, Sheikh Ibrahim, was a very old man, and he had found from time to time, when he went out on any business, people pleasuring about the garden gate with their bona robas, at which he was angered with exceeding anger. But he took patience till one day when the Caliph came to his garden, and he complained of this to Harun al-Rashid, who said, "Whomsoever thou surprisest about the door of the garden, deal with him as thou wilt." Now on this day, the gardener chanced to be abroad on some occasion, and returning found these two sleeping at the gate, covered with a single mantilla. Whereupon said he, "By Allah, good, these twain know not that the Caliph hath given me leave to slay anyone I may catch at the door. But I will give this couple a shrewd whipping, that none may come near the gate in future." So he cut a green palm frond, and went up to them, and raising his arm till the white of his armpit appeared, was about to strike them, when he bethought himself and said, "O Ibrahim, wilt thou beat them unknowing their case? Haply they are strangers, or of the sons of the road, and the decrees of destiny have thrown them here. I will uncover their faces and look at them." So he lifted up the mantilla from their heads and said, "They are a handsome couple. It were not fitting that I should beat them." Then he covered their faces again, and, going to Nur al-Din's feet, began to rub and shampoo them. Whereupon the youth opened his eyes, and seeing an old man of grave and reverent aspect rubbing his feet, he was ashamed, and drawing them in, sat up. Then he took Sheikh Ibrahim's hand and kissed it. Quoth the old man, O my son, whence art thou?" And quoth he, "O my lord, we two are strangers," and the tears started from his eyes. "O my son," said Sheikh Ibrahim, "know that the Prophet, whom Allah bless and preserve, hath enjoined honor to strangers," and added, "Wilt not thou arise, O my son, and pass into the garden, and solace thyself by looking at it, and gladden thy heart?" "O my lord," said Nur al-Din, "to whom doth this garden belong?" And the other replied, "O my son, I have inherited it from my folk." Now his object in saying this was to set them at their ease and induce them to enter the garden. So Nur al-Din thanked him and rose, he and the damsel, and followed him into the garden, and lo, it was a garden, and what a garden! The gate was arched like a great hall, and over walls and roof ramped vines with grapes of many colors, the red like rubies, and the black like ebonies, and beyond it lay a bower of trellised boughs, growing fruits single and composite, and small birds on branches sang with melodious recite, and the 1,000-noted nightingale shrilled with her varied shriek. The turtle with her cooing filled the sight, the blackbird whistled like human white, and the ringdove moaned like a drinker in grievous plight. The trees grew in perfection all edible growths, and fruited all manner fruits, which in pairs were bipartite, with the camphor apricot, the almond apricot, and the apricot Khorasani height. The plum, like the face of beauty, smooth and bright. The cherry that makes teeth shine clear by her slight, and the fig of 3 colors, green, purple, and white. There also blossomed the violet, as it were sulphur on fire by night. The orange with buds like pink coral and margaret. The rose whose redness gars the loveliest cheeks blush with his spite. And myrtle and gillyflower and lavender with the blood-red anemone from Newman height. The leaves were all gemmed with tears the clouds had dyed. The chamomile smiled, showing teeth that bite. And Narcissus, with his dark eyes, fixed on Rose his side. The citrons shone with fruits in boughs, and the lemons like balls of gold. Earth was carpeted with flowers, tinctured infinite. For spring was come brightening the place with joy and delight, and the streams ran ringing to the birds' gay singing, while the rustling breeze upspringing attempered the air to temperance exquisite. Sheikh Ibrahim carried them up into the pavilion, and they gazed on its beauty, and on the lamps aforementioned in the latticed windows. And Nur al-Din, remembering his entertainments of time past, cried, "By Allah, this is a pleasant place. It hath quenched in my anguish which burned as a fire of Gaza wood." Then they sat down, and Sheikh Ibrahim set food before them, and they ate till they were satisfied and washed their hands. After which Nur al-Din went up to one of the latticed windows, and calling to his handmaid, fell to gazing on the trees laden with all manner fruits. Presently he turned to the gardener and said to him, "O Sheikh Ibrahim, hast thou no drink here, for folks are wont to drink after eating?" The Sheikh brought him sweet water, cool and pleasant, but he said, "This is not the kind of drink I wanted." "Perchance thou wishest for wine?" "Indeed I do, O Sheikh." "I seek refuge from it with Allah. It is 13 years since I did this thing, for the Prophet Abhak cursed its drinker, presser, seller, and carrier." "Hear 2 words of me." "Say on." If yon cursed ass, which standeth there, be cursed, will aught of his curse alight upon thee? By no means. Then take this dinar and these 2 dirhams, and mount yonder ass, and halting afar from the wine shop, call the first man thou seest buying liquor, and say to him, "Take these 2 dirhams for thyself, and with this dinar buy me some wine, and set it on the ass. So shalt thou be neither the presser, nor the buyer, nor the carrier, and no part of the curse will fall upon thee." At this Sheikh Ibrahim laughed and said, "By Allah, O my son, I never saw one wilier of wit than thou art, nor heard aught sweeter than thy speech." So he did as he was bidden by Nur al-Din, who thanked him and said, "We too are now dependent on thee, and it is only meet that thou comply with our wishes. So bring us here what we require." "O my son," replied he, "this is my buttery before thee," and it was the storeroom provided for the commander of the faithful. "So go in and take whatso thou wilt, for there is over and above what thou wantest." Nur al-Din then entered the pantry and found therein vessels of gold and silver and crystal set with all kinds of gems, and was amazed and delighted with what he saw. Then he took out what he needed and set it on, and poured the wine into flagons and glass ewers, whilst Sheikh Ibrahim brought them fruit and flowers and aromatic herbs. Then the old man withdrew and sat down at a distance from them, whilst they drank and made merry, till the wine got the better of them, so that their cheeks reddened, and their eyes wantoned like the gazelles, and their locks become dishevelled, and the brightness became yet more beautiful. Then said Sheikh Ibrahim to himself, "What aileth me to sit apart from them? Why should I not sit with them? When shall I ever find myself in company with the like of these two that favour 2 moons?" So he stepped forward and sat down on the edge of the dais. And Nur al-Din said to him, "O my lord, my life on thee, come nearer to us." He came and sat by them, when Nur al-Din filled a cup and looked towards the Sheikh and said to him, "Drink, that thou mayest try the taste of it." "I take refuge from it with Allah," replied he. "For 13 years I have not done a thing of the kind." Nur al-Din, faint to forget he was there, and drinking off the cup, threw himself on the ground as if the drink had overcome him. Whereupon Anis al-Jalis glanced at him and said, "O Sheikh Ibrahim, see how this husband of mine treateth me." And he answered, "O my lady, what aileth him?" "This is how he always serveth me," cried she. "He drinketh a while, then falleth asleep, and leaveth me alone with none to bear me company over my cup, nor any to whom I may sing when the bowl goeth round." Quoth the Sheikh, and his mien unstiffened for that his soul inclined towards her, "By Allah, this is not well." Then she crowned a cup, and looking towards him said, "By my life, thou must take and drink it, and not refuse to heal my sick heart." So he put forth his hand, and took it, and drank it off. And she filled a second, and set it on the chandelier, and said, "O master mine, there is still this one left for thee." "By Allah, I cannot drink it," cried he. "What I have already drunk is enough for me." But she rejoined, "By Allah, there is no help for it." So he took the cup and drank, and she filled him a third, which he took and was about to drink, when behold, Nur al-Din rolled round and sat upright. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you all for watching. I wish you a wonderful night, sweet dreams, peaceful sleep. Go inwards instead of outwards. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Have a good night, everyone, and thanks for joining. Bye.